Good afternoon. My name is Titus. I work for APG as a strategy consultant. I must give you a warning beforehand because I'm going to talk about pensions. I'm going to use the word pension a lot, and the fact is that our company APG, did some research a couple of years ago where we see people's responses on communication sentences about pension, and we put them in a brain scanner to see brain activity, and we found out that the word pension triggers less activity in the brain than the word brick. So that's the challenge we're up against. So the presentation will only take 10 minutes. So if you fall asleep, you're not the only one. About APG, we're a financial services provider. We provide services to pension funds, and the pension industry in the Netherlands is quite big, in fact. So what we do is pension administration, communication, asset management, executive consultancy, etc. So we're quite a big company. Like we already said, about 3,000 people work. And where it concerns communication, our goal is to make pensions accessible and transparent and robust for the individual. So we focus on the individual, although these pension funds are our client, we communicate through their channels. So the fact is that in the Netherlands, even we're a big company in the industry, nobody knows us, in fact, doesn't know the logo, because we work through the channels of the pension fund. Thing is, well, like I already said, the comparison with the brick, pensions are incomprehensible to many people. They are boring, in fact, and to most people they're not urgent. It's something that happens in the future or it doesn't happen at all. My pension or retirement, it's a long way off. But that, of course, is not true. It may not be urgent at every point in time of your life, but it is a relevant matter. It is relevant if you die. But it's relevant for your financial future, for your spouse, for your partner, for children, etc. If you're disabled, it's also quite relevant. So we defined a strategy on pension communication, and we said about 2 years ago, we said what we want to do is give all participants, which are more than 4 million, a grip on our financial future. So we expanded the horizon of pensions, because pensions is only a small part of the financial future, to say the financial future. Now, the problem that you have there, you see on the right, is that what we know, the information that we have through the pension funds, the information is only limited. Say the blue area down there. Well, in fact, if you really want to know something, give someone grip on his financial future, you would have to know about the whole triangle, first, second, and third pillar. We'll not go into that. But also have to know about the expenses, and of course we don't know that. So there is the obvious relations to PDM. The thing is that why we want to do this, give people a grip on our financial future. It's not a very big project that we're taking. It's a very small project where we take several steps, because the challenge is quite big. The challenge is to make complex things like finances or pensions, to make them simple, to answer real life questions of people, rather than say have a financial planning tool that you can do anything with, but just not answer the questions that you really have. The challenge is to be trustworthy. Do people trust us with their data? Because that's what we will be using. And also a challenge is to be reliable. If we do a prediction, this is where you'll get it. It should be somewhere around the expectations that you can really have if you dive into really deep. So we have to be reliable in what we provide. So, and we're doing a lot of experiments in that area. In fact, we do also experiments with blockchain, artificial intelligence, etc. We have a laboratory set up for that, innovation laboratory. And one of the experiments is called clear overview and insight. It's a terrible name if you translate it to English. Well, it's a terrible name in Dutch as well, but okay, it sounds a little bit better if you translate it. It's HOI, which stands for high, something like that. So, and what we try to do in that project is give people a complete overview of their retirement income or their financial future, in fact, an expectation of their expenses, and we give them the opportunity to look into scenarios. What if I retire earlier or later, or if I go to work a little bit less or a little bit more, etc. And we also give them possible solutions for their pension. Now, so this is already in place. This is something we build. This is our expertise, etc. So where the PDM part comes in is where do we get the data from? And like I said, we use very small steps. So the first step that we did is hook up to the national pensions, how you call it, dashboard, which has an overview of all the pension information. And if the individual gives his consent, we can get the information from that dashboard. So that is the first step that we take, and we can take many more steps, include information about mortgages, from the banks or insurances or whatever. So we can include that, but the thing is, we want to build that interface, and we want to build that. Well, we need the data, we need some mechanism or platform or provider to give us that data. Starting off with the consent of the individual. I can't say that enough. The individual has to say yes, he or she can get that data to APG because I want that. So, and like Will already said, there are some providers in the marketplace, and we already did say the first scan we did a little bit over a year ago, and we didn't find a real partner to do that with. So finding partners to give us the data in a way that we want it is quite a challenge. So here are some of the things that we want from these providers or platforms or whatever. Of course, they have to be trustworthy and they have to be understandable and simple for the individual. That's the starting point. But for us, there are compliance issues, there are cost issues, security issues. They have to fit in our architecture. And one of the things is if you have, say, the customer journey that the client goes through on our side, it has to fit with the customer journey the client goes through on the side of the portal or the website that provides the data. So they have to match as well. And that was a problem last year. And in fact, what we did last year was not finding a partner that we could really hook up with. We built our own solution. And this is a really temporary solution. We store the data ourselves. And in the end, we don't want to do that. In the end, we want to hook up with organizations that can really provide it. So this is our challenge. In fact, the solution that we have now works pretty well. We have a Net Promoter Score of, I think it is 23 or something like that. So that's really positive, and we are improving on that. We have the first client for that, and our biggest client will be using it starting next year. So we're really happy about it, about the interface that we provide and the service that we provide. But we're still looking for organizations that can help us in making the next steps. So that's it from our point.